Okay, our next project is going to be this happy birthday card that when you open it, it pops open. I meant to have a gift card in there to show. Let's show that again. When you open it, there's a gift card that pops up. And I got this design of a pop-up gift card from Connie Stewart and just turned it to the lion card. So you'll want to get your kit where everything was kind of tucked inside, and that's just, and then for this you have in with your bag of chocolates some little sequins, just a few, so you'll want to dig those out of that bag of chocolates. And then the ink pads for this, for the lion's body, you can use the Mango Melody or Daffodil Delight. I have Mango Melody here and Terracotta Tile for the mane, but I'm actually going to use Cajun Craze this time because I liked it a little better for the mane. Then we have Bermuda Bay, Poppy, and it looks like I did Poppy on the inside, and Daffodil Delight for the pom-poms. Is that what they're called? Maybe. Okay, so let's actually... Well, let me set my stuff aside. Now, normally on this card, I would not have punched the circle already. I would do that last, but because I was worried you guys wouldn't have that circle punch, I did it for you. So normally this would just be even. And I also put the adhesive on for you because I didn't want you to get it in the wrong spot, which I've done before, and then I can't actually open my card. So I will send you a document with measurements for how to cut your own if you want to recreate this card. But for today, you're just going to peel off your stuff, and the paper snip scissors are really good for getting those off. I had good luck with my fingernails this time. And then you're just going to close that, and then that's your card. Now, of course, right now, you cannot get anything in that little spot. So you'll want to cut it, the edge, with either your scissors or your paper cutter. But I'm just going to do scissors right now, which could be uneven, but we're going to hope for the best. It worked out. Now, if you made this and you don't, how I made this is I just took the 1-inch punch, which I believe is also retiring right now. And I went in there and just punched like the top little bit of it. So that's how I got that punch out. And then you trim the top, and then you're able to fit a gift card in there. Voila, you kind of have to weave it into it. And actually though, when I gave it to my son the other day, I just put some cash folded up in there. And so when he opened it, there was cash. Although he didn't open it because he couldn't untie the bow. He just reached in and grabbed the cash out and ruined the whole effect. But that's okay. He had the lion on the front, which he loves. All right, so now I'm going to do the inside first, which I have a reason, but I'm not sure why I chose that. Doesn't really matter. But same old, and you know, I didn't even take the time to get my pad underneath, and it worked out okay. And I would also do the envelope at the same time. Now, this is kind of a big envelope for this card, but because of the way the bow is on it, when you tie it, you kind of need that extra room to fit it in. But I do have an envelope maker, and I have used that before with this card design to make it a little bit more perfect. Oops, I didn't mean to close that. But I was not going to make envelopes for everybody, so this is what you get. And I'm using that little sentiment in the middle of every card. I will say, this stamp set uses a lot of different ink pads, a lot of different parts and pieces, which is fun. It's real stamping. It's just hard to have room for all this stuff. There you go. That is the kind of card where you don't have to say much. It's full. You just say love so-and-so. And sometimes that is is all I have to say, so it's perfect. Okay, I'm going to stick that on the inside. Now the front. I know why I did the middle first, because when I did this at a class once, everybody got confused and thought that was for the front. And so I did it the middle first so you wouldn't get confused. Then you have these pieces. These, the only reason you have two of these is in case you mess up, because I, like I said, had a lot of problems with this lion the first time I tried it. So that's the only reason you have two. And I could have cut this whole thing the same size as this and just put it on this on front. But by cutting it the exact right size, I knew how much room I had to fit my little lion on there. Okay, and I have done this card with the koala as well. Thought I had saved it here to show. And my chair's really squeaky today, so I'm sorry for that. Oh, I don't know where I put that card. That's okay. But you can do this with the koala. So if you don't have any kind of color for the mane, just know that I've done it with the koala too. And it's also cute. And then this piece can be either balloon side or present side, whichever you prefer. Okay, let's make our lion. I am going to use this mat, and I would definitely encourage you to practice first. Now, I wrote myself a note of whether to do the mane first or the body first, and I lost my note, guys, so that's okay. Close this first. We're going to test it on the background paper. Lost my lion's body too. So many stamps. There we go. There's my lion body. Okay, so in Mango Melody, I am going to first test on my background paper. There he goes. And then you come in with your darker color and you're trying to fit it. Oh, this one's really stiff. When you first get your ink pads, they tend to be more stiff, and over time they loosen up. Now you might see my head because I got to come in here to see you try to line that up just right so it hits the tail, and I don't have it perfect but close. I'm going to do another practice to see if I like better doing that first. And your images will always look better on this the ultra smooth white, or the whisper white, that's what they used to call it, than it will on your background paper. It's just a better stamp surface. Okay, that one I think was easier. So that was with the mane first. So go ahead and stamp your mane first. And I'm using Cajun Grays, but you can use whatever color. And then I'm coming in with my Mango Melody, and I might have to pull this close to me to line it up, but you should be able to see right through there. And I know he looks funny. We've got to add his face still. And it's very close. It's not perfect, but it's close. And you have two sides to try on, plus another sheet. So if at first you don't succeed, don't feel bad. The other thing to test is to line these little, whisk the little face up too. And it looks really funny if you don't finish it with that. I saw somebody made cards and posted them online without putting his little face in, and I thought, you've got to put that face in. Oh look, it works just fine. So mostly look to try to line up the eye dots, and there you go. There's your little lion. Yay! I'm trying to decide whether to take the risk of leaving those open or closing them. And then I did black for, oh, I already did the inside and the envelope, so I could close those. Except there should have been a little piece, yes, for your balloon and your hat. See that? So let me close these up. I know, they are stiff at first. I'm doing my balloon in red. in blue. Now my last time I did my hat, that had red on it, so I want to make sure I clean in between. And sometimes that ink can really stick on the photopolymer, and I'll want to stamp in the color a few times on my background to really, hey, oops, this is why I actually usually, to clean my stamps, I do use this thing, which starts out beautiful like this, and then it turns ugly over time, but you just keep washing it and it keeps cleaning your stuff. That's great to me for cleaning stamps, but if I actually get ink all over my blocks, I like to use the wipes too. I use both, whatever I have near me. But I did start saving money on wipes when I started using the chamois. Okay, so then your next step is going to be to cut those pieces out, which I pre-cut my balloon. I thought I did my hat too, but that's okay if I didn't, because it is a very fast little snip snip. And I see my hat has like a little bit of not the pure blue color, which could have been because my chamois that I cleaned with had black on it and I hadn't washed it in between. So anyway, there's my little hat, and I'm going to put him, I'm putting the hat flat on. Now, usually you don't want your hat to stick above your card, but because this, I'm gonna use glue because that's small. Because this card is small and has plenty of room in the envelope, it's okay if your hat sticks above. And you don't have to add the hat if you don't want. Also, I have not been adding the little pom-poms to the top of the hat. I gave you pom-poms in that same bag with your candy. I used to put them on my cards, but it made them sort of puffy. So you could save that for your 3D, or you can add them to your cards, whichever you want. Okay, now I'm gonna, before I add my balloon and my confetti, I'm gonna attach this to the card base. And you're gonna look this time to have 1/8 of, oh, I guess I'm doing the balloons instead of the presents. I actually like the presents better, but too bad. I put the tape on the other side. You wanna have 1/8 of an edge around, and I didn't quite get that right at the top. That's okay, because this can overlap it a little bit. And then we're gonna cover that line with ribbon. Okay, so then you want to add your sequins. Let me pull the sample card back up here so you guys can see where I'm going. It does not lay very flat when it's sitting there. It keeps popping open. So dump your little sequins out of your pack. I'm just going to put a few in here to help me see the sizes. Now, if you have a take your pick tool, it's really handy here to help pick up these sequins instead of trying to use your fingers. But I lived many years of my life without that and picked them up with fingers. So you'll be fine if that's your only choice. But since I have the take your pick tool now I'm going to just put a tiny little dot of glue, although I may have used glue dots on this, I can't remember. But some of the sequins are so tiny, the glue dots don't even fit. So I'm trying to put the smallest amount of glue. And there we go. There's a little one. And I have to come in with my finger to take it off of there. Stick that there. And now I want orange. I'm trying to get all 3 colors. Oops. That's okay. I did that one upside down. I don't think it matters too much. Okay, so there's my sequins. And then, oh, I am missing something. Guys, I'm so sorry. If you want that balloon, it's good to leave room for your string. Now, did I leave room? Okay. Well, I'm sorry, guys, that I missed that. You could either not add the balloon, just leave it like that, still cute, or I'm going to try adding the balloon. The string will cover his face a little. That's okay. It's like that in my sample. And then that balloon we cut out, it'll lift up right there with the dimensional. And I'm going to actually cover my string a little because it didn't stand good. It would have been far better for me to do that before the card was all stuck together. But even though I made this card, I think this is my 10th or 11th or 12th card I've made like this. I make this card a lot because for my piano students, I give them a little gift card to pick something from my prize box. And so it's the perfect little thing to mail. So I make this card a lot and I still miss that, but that's okay. All right, last we have our string, our ribbon to add. Let me just get some of this stuff put away. If you don't put the lids on your ink pads, you're bound to have accidents. I'm sure all of us have had those. Okay, now you can, where did my ribbon go? I really hope it comforts you all to see how much I lose stuff in the middle of stamping. Okay, I luckily have more ribbon here. I don't know where mine went. But you can just take this, tie it around, and then they tie it off and it comes off. You don't have to attach it like this. I attached it because I wanted to, but then my 8-year-old or 9-year-old, he was turning 9, he couldn't figure out how to untie the ribbon. So there's that to think about. If you want to attach it, you just put a little bit of adhesive, and you may even, I'm going to use this thin tear tape I probably got on Amazon or Office Supply, but you could use a little snail as long as it's not too thick. Actually, maybe I'll just do that for today for speed. I'm just worried that it's a little thicker wrap. I don't want to have adhesive sticking out the front. Actually, yeah. I don't know that I would recommend that. There is this cool thing called an adhesive remover that now I'm going to go in and do that with once it's more dry. So I would use glue dots if you don't have this tear tape stuff, or if you have a thin, something you could put a thin layer. And you don't need to have it be across the whole thing because you need some room to be able to tie and untie, but just a little bit there to hold it to your card. And if you have trouble getting that white off, I really found these scissors are so helpful. I'm losing my light. It's getting dark outside. Okay, so again, I really don't like that adhesive I put there, especially on the white. And Stamp and Up used to sell these. They don't anymore, but I have a couple if anyone wants them. And you can also find them on Amazon. That's probably where I got them. Okay, so anyway, that just holds it in place, and then all you have to do is tie it into a bow. And if you give it to a 9-year-old, try to be there to say how this card works. you untie it to open. And yeah, he just went like this. He reached in and saw some money and somehow yanked it out of there. Okay, my bow does not look perfect. That's okay. And I would leave that extra because you never know how you're going to tie it. There is your third card. Thank you.